through earth, wind, and fire. It is here you will find the answers which you desire. Long now have we awaited in shadow, for your truth to be seen within thy letter, despite what many had thought to seek. The truth will always read. Long now for the Bible, the lost magic says made its arrival.
Welcome everybody to the Lost Magics episode 2. My name is Aphina, as you know, and tonight we will be talking a little bit about altars. My beautiful sister is here as well, as you all know, our Willow. I don't know who's
Hello
on
guys, welcome.
Yeah,
Blessed be you all.
everybody.
So me and sister, we've been busy this week getting some video together so that we could educate you guys on how to set altars up, how to cleanse them and bless them. So my side was cleansing, blessing and anointing the altars, tools, explaining to you basically what you need to do before you set up the altar, which is what sister's going to talk to you about, and talk to you a bit about Embolic, which is our new season for this month. So any questions or anything you want for us guys, please just ask us guys and enjoy the videos.
Yeah, of course. I think we have our beautiful Thinking of Others in the room tonight.
We do.
And of course we have Christopher, our awesome other host from Bald and Bonkers. We also have my fiance watching tonight, William. I will give him a shout out, Willie.
Hello, Willie.
He watches upstairs, guys. So yeah, we've got a few of our fam in tonight. Liam will also be watching, I think, in his room. He usually likes to pop in and say hello to the guys. So, sister, while we're waiting on people coming in, what have you been doing? Anything nice about you?
I have done a few candles because of things going on recently in the community, as we all are aware, but we are going to do a little 1-minute dedication to a certain family member that we lost this week. We will do that in this as well, a couple of seconds just to remember him. So I've been doing a lot of that work and just keeping myself connected with the divine, because I've not been feeling my greatest. I've been feeling a bit down, but I'm looking forward to doing this show. And this was something that we was asked to do by some family members that are going into witchcraft and are not sure how to set up altars or how to cleanse them or do anything. So hopefully mine and Sis's information will help you a lot. And you can always come and ask us if you need any further information or guidance.
That's also as well. See, when you do become part of a community like Sister and I knew each other just a little over a year and a half, I think, is it not? Well,
it's got to be just over a year and a half, coming up 2 years. It's got to be.
Yeah, and Christopher, I've knew him for a good 3 years, and I think you start to get a feel for your community. And yesterday, when Morad Morad sadly passed away, sister, I think it was the day before he passed away, and you were really sad and things. And I must have felt that, because I did go onto your Facebook, and I realised that you were going live, and that's what it was for, was to give a dedication to Morad. So you do start to feel that there's something in your community is wrong, because you do start to get to know each other, and you get to have a feel for what is maybe in the mix. So there's a lot of people hurting right now in the community.
I agree. And I've done it. I've done it where I've gone into streams where I don't really know the person or anything, but because I'm so connected to that community, when they're upset, it upsets me, because I feel their emotions. I feel their hurt for that person being lost. So it's very true what Sis is saying. We are a community. Even if you don't know the person very well, you do get affected by it.
Yeah, definitely do. I mean, and I think that's why a lot of thing where we call each other, as you know, sister, I'm Scottish, Willow is English. We were not actual blood related, but that's why we call each other our sister, because to me, I feel we've got that spiritual connection as sisters do. It's just that it's on a spiritual realm, you know, and it makes us connect spiritually. And the internet is a marvelous thing for meeting people that is into the same things as you. So I think through these podcasts and through these YouTube channels, whatever your community is, it might just be TikTok for all you know. You can just meet people that is into the same things as you and learn from each other. It's amazing. And so Sister wants to kind of show us how to cleanse an altar. And the most important thing when you're starting your journey, after you've made the initial, yes, I want to get into the craft, is to do it properly. And a lot of the time, there's residual energy on things because a lot of us will get things handed down from our mothers, our grands, and things. And for all you want to keep that energy with you from your ancestors, if they were a negative person, for example, that could feed off into that item. So this is why we cleanse things and we'll put our own intent into things. It's
and
so
that's what I
that
kind of just tried to show, and a bit like your basics on what you would do every day. So obviously this video is showing you what you would do on a time when you've got a special season coming in. But I do also explain in the video about that, you know, that you should do your blessings and your cleansings of your altar every day. Like, not take all your stuff off, but wave over the altar with some sage. Just do a prayer over it, because it cleanses your table. It cleanses your tools on your altar. Obviously, the one that I showed you today is in more detail because that is where you're doing the big one. And if you're just starting out in the faith, you still do need to cleanse your altar and the tools that you've brought, because it's coming from somewhere else and you don't know if that energy or what energy is stuck to those tools or those objects individually. So it's always very important to make sure that your secret space and your place that you're working in is blessed and cleansed, as well as your altar and your tools. It all needs to be done, in my opinion.
And plus, it's all part of a process. These things help you as a witch get into a routine of doing things, and it puts you into a magical space. If you do everything as part of a ritual or just as a daily practice, your mind automatically starts to do that type of routine with everything. You'll start to cleanse your environment and things in your mind when you meet new people and things like that. It all starts to build a process in your mind. And
If
it's
you
very
if you
good
do
for,
what
for
if you
other
do watch the video, please do not think that you have to do all of that every single time. You do that on your most powerful times of your witch faith. So obviously we've got the embolic coming in, or if you're going to be doing a really big ritual that has got lots of energy that's got to go into it, then I would take the stuff off the altar, cleanse it, clean it. But if it's just a basic spell or a basic ritual, just keep your stuff on your table. Just use your sages and make sure you've got your candles lit and stuff, just to bring that protection in the room. But always walk around your house no matter what. Cleanse every room first and do your secret space last. I always do say put like incense sticks on, put candles on, put some very calming music that brings an atmosphere of calm and positivity. It's really important that when you've got your intentions to do your altar or any kind of craft work, it's always to have a positive mind, because it can be affected, guys, to what you're doing.
Yes.
So
I don't know if you want to play the video just
right,
now.
so what I'll do is I'll start off with mine, because obviously I start, because in reality, when you're doing your stuff, you would start off by cleansing your area, your secret space, and your altar and your tools and stuff. Then you'd go into what Sister Drew is doing. Okay, so I will show my video first, and then we will go on to Sister Drew. So this, right, let me put that up on the big screen, is mine. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask, guys. We will answer at the end of the videos. And if you've got anything we need to explain in a bit more detail, we will. So this is our video. When it comes up. And here we go. Hello and welcome to the Lost Magic's pre-recorded video on altars. I am Willow. I'm here today to show you how to cleanse and bless your altar and your secret spaces when you're working in the craft. It doesn't matter if you're a witch, a wizard, or whatever you are. It's very important that you keep your secret places and your altars clean and cleansed at all times. Now, I'm going to be showing you the main tactic and the main cleansing part of our altar. So this is for when we have our seasons. As in now, we are going into the embolic phase in our witch faith. So all of our altars are going to be being changed. But before you do that, and before you can use it for your next month's work, which is the embolic one for this, you do need to make sure that you cleanse and remove any of the energy from your previous spells, rituals, and also from just everyday energy that may be lurking in you, in your home, or anywhere around you. So it's very, very important. And I always do this. Everybody is different in how they do their cleansings and how they do their stuff. But I always like to be able to put music on, but for that reason, I've not got music on because I'm needing to explain to you guys and show you guys what we do. So I've not got the music on for that reason and other reasons, obviously. So going around your home and cleansing it with sage, elemental wood, sandalwood, lavender, jasmine, incense, or the actual plants of them. Having a white candle just to represent positivity and peace. I always have them as well. I always light incense sticks just to keep the positivity in the room, but I normally do that after I have done the cleansing of the actual whole place. And I will have the candle on from the beginning. Excuse me a minute, guys.
Should be okay.
My candle, just to represent positivity and peace. I always have them as well. I always light incense sticks just to keep the positivity in the room, but I normally do that after I have done the cleansing of the actual whole place. And I will have the candle on from the beginning. Something's going on with it's the connection, I think.
Yeah, should be okay. It'll catch up. Catch up, sir. Just talk a wee minute while it catches up if you like. Yeah, sister was saying in the video, guys, smell's very important. The smell also cleanses your area if you've not got any of the incense there. Tobacco smoke, candle, anything, guys, anything, even your breath can cleanse an area. Just your intent to blow away the negative, to welcome in the positive. That's all you're really doing. And that's why we use scent. It's very good to put you in your space for what you're up to. Right now, Sister Ware Altar is cleansing it, so she's
normally do that after I have done. So I'm just trying to get it to go forward a little bit, guys, so that it's not going to keep cutting out or anything. Done the cleansing of the actual whole place, and I will have the candle on from the beginning. We're going to have problems with this, aren't we? Because it's the...
Yeah. We could even just leave it sitting there, sis, and talk about altars if you like.
But it was easier to show the video because it shows everything. They want to be able to see it physically, what to do.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason, it's not catching up for some reason. It's not doing what it's meant to be doing or anything.
Just give it a wee second, it might catch up.
As in now, we are going into the embolic phase in our witch faith. So all of our altars are going to be being changed. But before you do that, and before you can use it for your next month's work, which is the embolic one for this, you do need to make sure that you cleanse and remove any of the energy from your previous spells, rituals, and also from just everyday energy that may be lurking in you, in your home, or anywhere around you. So it's very, very important, and I always do this. Everybody is different in how they do their cleansings and how they do their stuff, but I always like to be able to put music on, but for that reason I've not got music on because I'm needing to explain to you guys and show you guys what we do. So I've not got music on for that reason and other reasons, obviously. So going around your home and cleansing it with sage, elemental wood, sandalwood, lavender, jasmine, incense, or the actual plants of them. Having a white candle just to represent positivity and peace. I always have them as well. I always light incense sticks just to keep the positivity in the room, but I normally do that after I have done the cleansing of the actual whole place. And I will have the candle on from the beginning. Why is it doing that?
Would it know
Right.
maybe
The thing is,
forward
right,
it
guys,
all?
so I got into this part where I'm telling you about going round to the areas in the house or your home. Okay, so wherever you're going to be cleansing and blessing, you need to walk in to them areas, go into the rooms and individually have your sage or sandalwood and just go into the rooms and just speak out, asking for protection and cleansing of the room. So you would go in with the sage and that lit, using your feather and just wafting the smoke around in all of the corners of the room, saying, I bless this room in the powers of our Almighty Father, our Lord Jesus, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and the Divine. Obviously, you all may have different deities that you worship and follow. You use them to do that. You don't have to use the same guys as what we do. But you would go around saying that to each room. Then you would come into your secret room where you're going to be doing your altar and you're going to be doing your blessings and stuff like that over everything else. You would do the same as what you've done in the rooms, but then just add in a personal prayer that you do every day to your higher power, or you could do the Lord's Prayer, whatever you feel to do, just to give that extra little bit of protection in that room. And then what I would normally do is go over to the area of where my altar is and remove all of the equipment onto a towel or a cloth, because I don't agree in putting the instruments that we use directly onto the floor. I like them to be on something padded. And also because when you anoint it and you've got the anointing oils and all the other oils you use to cleanse your tools, if it drips off, it still stays on that cloth. So it's still powering what it's supposed to be doing to those tools. That's why I do this as well.
Yeah.
So move all of your tools onto the towel, put some crystals around just to keep that protection mode around them and stuff like that. Move off your blankets, shake them outside with thinking of the intentions of cleansing your blankets and making sure that they're ready to go back on your water. Put them on your chair, whatever you got to do, and then go over to your equipment. The first thing you need to do is go over to your table and actually wipe down your table. So I always have two bowls of water. I have a normal bowl of water and I have a blessed water, okay? So I have the normal water just to cleanse over the top of the table and to give my intentions to open to cleansing the altar. So for that reason, what I would do normally is put the water over the table with it rinsed, and I will say, I bless this altar table in the powers of our Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, and in the powers of our Mother Earth and Mother Nature, and our Divine. I ask that this table is removed of all negative, evil, or bad energy that may be consumed, and that it is only replaced with the good, love, and the light of your power, our Father, and our Mothers, and our Divine. See us here, so multi be. Amen. Once you've done that, wiping all over the table and on the legs and everything, you then will let that dry and you'll go over to cleaning your tools. Now, I use a banishing oil, a blessing oil, a anointing oil, and a protection. Okay. Now, I always start off with the banishing. I use the banishing oils on such things as the altars, on all of the tools, and on anything that resides in the witchcraft. The only things I don't use it on is the crystal ball, because it can affect the energies of your crystal ball. And I don't personally put it onto the crystals, because the crystals, some of them cannot consume liquid or water. So with crystals now, I would normally use either a salt plate, put the crystals on there, or I would charge them in the 3 moons when it's at full moon. Obviously, on your times where you're doing it, where you just need it there and then, you just need to cleanse your crystals and that, just put them onto some salt, do a prayer over it, do a bit of sage or something over the top, doing that blessing, and they'll be good to go and to be used. But for your actual setting of your main altar to do with your holidays in witchcraft or in your faith, always make sure that you do charge all of your equipment under the moon. You can do that with your cards, your altar cloths, anything can be put in the moon, as well as yourselves. So once you have done that and you've anointed the equipment, what you do is you would pick I pick it up individually. Everybody is different. I pick each item up individually, and I will personally bless them and cleanse them, protect them, and anoint them. Okay, it's the same as the table. So when you pick them up, you would go, I banish any negative or evil spirits or energy that may surround this altar, these equipment, and my secret space. I bless this in the power of our Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, and I bless this power in the power of our mothers, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and the Divine. CSO Morty B, Amen. I do that to each tool individually, and I do that to the table at the end. Okay, and I do that with each oil that I use, but using the phrase that I'm needing it for. So obviously you've got your banishing, so you're banishing your energy. Then you've got your protection, which is where you're asking for the altar to be protected, the secret space to be protected. So then you would go, I protect this altar in the powers of our Lord Jesus Christ and in the powers of Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and the Divine. I ask that all negative and evil spirit or energy is removed and is only replaced with good, love, and positivity. CSO Morty B, Amen. Whatever you follow, you say. You do the same with the other two as well, because you've got your protection, your banishing, your blessing, and so on. So using those, I'm going to be putting this video up for you guys to be able to watch it, guys. For some reason, it's just not showing it here for some reason. So just do that with all of your equipment. Put them all back onto the towel, okay, with the crystals and stuff there. Leave them there. Then go back to your table, where you will then use your blessed water. Now, to make your blessed water, you will have either tap water boiled 3 times, or you can have a bottled water out that's fresh out of the shop. Put 2 bowls, one with your normal water with nothing in it, and your blessed water. You can make your blessed water yourself by doing the water, put in a tourmaline or a black onyx crystal just to boost up that energy. Okay, put in your salts such as Epsom, Himalayan sea salts, and table salts. Put them in, bless them, cleanse them, boil them, do whatever you want. Let that water calm down and cool, and then you would put that into a bottle, and you would put that in the daylight and one night of night. Okay, so that is giving it a charge, and it's also giving the first break of daylight, which is the sign of blessings. Okay, so the water would become blessed. Okay, I would recommend doing that the day before you're going to do your cleansing. So make all your water that you're wanting that's blessed up. Make sure that you've got all of your equipment and your things that you're wanting to use and have blessed and cleansed out ready, or sitting waiting on the altar for you to remove, and just follow those instructions. So once you have done that, and I've lost where I was. What was I talking about? So yeah, you're going over to the altar. So you've done that, and you've cleansed and blessed your tools, as I've said, and they're on the floor, on the blanket. They're all ready. And then you want to bless your table before you go into what Sister Drew's going to do. So what you do is you'd have your table. You would do the same thing as you would do when you're blessing your tools, but you would do it for your table. Okay, so you would do a cross and you do a circle for these, and you need to do 3 rounds for the circle. This is what I do. I believe in doing things in threes because it is a representation of what we do in our faith, and I think it's a good number for me, so I do 3. Okay, so while you're doing that, putting your intentions and speaking out your intentions and saying what I've said to you to do with the anointing oils. Some people do not use anointing oils or don't like that sort of thing. You can use the blessing water that I said to you about. The blessing water, as I was saying, you can use those souls, just put them in the window, let them sit overnight and day, and then the next day when you're going to be doing that, your water will be ready. You can use your blessing water in reverse of the oils. So if you don't use oils, you can just do the same thing but using the blessing water. Put it over the altar, let it be cleansed, then put your blanket over, bless your blanket, and then it goes into what Sister Drew does. Okay, so I've gave you a brief description of how to do what you do with your altar, cleansing and blessing the secret areas and stuff, but there will be the video put up publicly tonight after this show so that you can see it in more detail from me, because sadly the video was not working. It kept cutting out, which I didn't want to happen, but it is on the YouTube channel and will be up tonight, guys. So I'm going to put you over to Sister Drew, Athena, so she can talk to you about the other side of setting your altars up, and I hope that helped.
Yeah, sometimes these technical problems are terrible, aren't they? Yeah, guys, so that's how you cleanse things and put your own energy into them. And as we were kind of touched upon last week a little, there's altars for absolutely everything. I mean, I have an altar that I use here that I showed you last week or the week before. I think I showed you last week. There was one podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got it set up for my goddess, which my goddess is Hecate. So I have a prayer candle on her altar. I'll show you it. So right now I have to get a good angle. Right now I have my prayer candle on her altar. I showed you last week what's on that. It's got all my intent for the year that I want to achieve. I want to achieve in my mind goddess status, if you like. I want to achieve where a couple of personal things, different things like that are all on this candle. In my daily ritual is when I get up in the morning, what I do is I dedicate the first half an hour. Hopefully, it used to be an hour, but I can do half an hour now. I dedicate the first half hour of my day to this sacred space that I've already did everything that Sister has just showed you on. And every day, once I put Liam out to school, I'll come down, I will light my candle, I'll put a fresh bit of incense out, some fresh water. Sometimes we'll put some herbs in this. This is my cauldron. I will put herbs in this depending if I'm maybe needing a little bit of extra boost that day. I will come down, I will light my candle, I will place my water on my altar, I will light up my incense. Some days I'll light just the sage incense just to clear the space. Other days I'll maybe light the confidence incense. Other days I might light incense that's helping me pick my mood up, that type of thing. I will light my candle, and as I'm lighting my candle, I will try and have in my mind the intent for the day that I want to achieve. I will talk to Hecate and I will ask her to guide me. I will tell her maybe anything that's on my mind that I want to help with my faith that day. Maybe my son's struggling at school or something. I'll ask her to maybe help him that day, have an easier day. Basically, you open up to your goddess, you tell her your worries, tell her your hopes, tell her the things that you want to achieve. Ask her for her help. Thank her for anything you do feel that she's helped you with, even just being here this day in life. Thank her for that. Thank her for getting to a space in your life where you are free to worship these things and help them into your world, because it really will change your life, guys. Honestly, the minute you start trying to open up your third eye and the minute you start meditating, that is when your life starts to change. You do go through a little bit. Sometimes you will feel your mood drop. Sometimes that is because you're doing shadow work at the same time, which is ridding your old negative life to welcome in your new positive life, which will start to happen the minute you start to do altars and things. But you've got to have in your mind's eye that this is for the good. Don't let that negativity drag you back down, because it's so easy to give up. Just keep pushing through, keep asking the goddess and your deities, your ancestors for the guidance. It is there. Just keep the faith, keep asking, and you will receive. So this is why this altar is here. This is to show your faith, your willingness to learn, your willingness to take the good times with the bad, which happens a lot. But once you're past that, guys, it's easy sailing, honestly. You learn so much once you get by the rough bit, the rough parts. And that is where you'll maybe start not feeling a need to light your altar up every day and talking to it and giving it your worries, giving it your hopes, giving it your thanks. You don't need to do that every day for an hour. Maybe some days you don't even need to do it. Other days you maybe need to light it up 2 and 3 times, just depending on your day. But the minute you make a connection to your altar, it is what represents you and your faith to this world, to this craft, this practice, whatever you want to call it. It's basically a dedication. It's between you and the next realm that you want to open your life up to. This is what you're trying to achieve with these altars. You're trying to welcome in the goddess. You're trying to welcome in a new way of life. You're celebrating your new life. You're celebrating the changes that are happening. Well, it's just stroke to yoga. So you're celebrating all that. You're celebrating and welcoming in, and you're thanking things for happening. And then there's different things in our faith and other faiths as well. The seasons. The seasons are basically the god and the goddess's journey of them meeting. Which Imbolc, some people say Imbolc is the first season, others say Samhain is the first season. I don't know what you think, sis. What do you think? Imbolc's the first? A lot of people do, because it's the first season of the year.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said, sis, yeah, you know, the seasons do represent the meetings of the god and the goddess. Obviously the seasons represent many different and important aspects in our faith as well. And we bring this very much out on our altars by putting very beautiful, colourful things on there, putting certain trinkets and things that are relevant to that season or to loved ones in some cases, because some of our rituals and stuff we do for seasons is to do with loved ones and stuff as well. So we will put anything that resembles to them there. So don't just think you just got to put your basic tools out. You can put anything that you want to put on there that makes you feel connected to your personal energies, like your family and your ancestors and stuff as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I've just showed you a bit of the basic goddess there. That's just my personal altar to my goddess. Everything that you do, you will find these things. You pick out yourself. Things will come to you and you'll not know why you're picking them up in a supermarket. But then a month down the line, you'll click that it's to go here, it's to go there. And that is the goddess at that time putting that into your head that you are going to need that in the future. Sometimes you maybe walk past somewhere and you're just pure drawn to it and you don't understand why you're drawn to that specific area. And then you might read something 2 weeks down the line that an ancestor or something used to work there and things. Everything is energy and it does connect. Everything connects in one great big circle. And the seasons and things is just to represent that. That's to represent all the change that goes on within the year. Samhain, a lot of people think is the first season because it is the darkness and things coming into the light. And there's a lot to the Samhain that's a lot of more your witchiness. But with the Imbolc is just the awakening of the sun. You're now saying goodbye to the winter nights. You're welcoming in you're welcoming in spring.
Autumn, well, you're welcoming autumns and spring, them sort of areas that are going to be coming by very shortly. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it is though. It's the mark of no more long nights, and it's the rebirth of the sun. You know, our brother or father son. Some people call him father son, brother son, the god son. whatever you like to call him, that's when he comes back into play. That's when we get longer days and longer time. And obviously, as Sister was saying, each altar and each setup is completely different for each holiday that we have. You'll see different things on there. There's the other altar that Sis has got.
See, this guy's, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this, because this will need all lit up before you'll get the full effect of it. And I might actually do a video just to show you the difference of it when it's lit up. I'll try and give you a basic guidance of it, right? Right now I've got this set up for Inbolt ready to light. Oh wait, this isn't going to work too good. I should have done it on my phone. This is the main worshipy Inbolt for me. This is going to represent all the different... Oh wait, no, I'm going to have to do it on my phone, guys. 2 seconds. I'll bring this over and talk about this, because this is important. Inbolt, remember what I told you about Inbolt being... It's like it's this is important to me this season, right? And it's because it is it's the getting ready for like the god to meet the goddess and like birth something, if you like. So that would be your next season. They've planted the seed in this season ready for the next. So this, to me, Inbolt's important because this is putting all your dreams and your hopes forward for the full year. You know, so an Inbolt lot, I think, is a bit personal. There's basically, you'd celebrate the sun and things coming in, but you're also trying to like birth your hopes and your dreams and things. So there could be things on your altar that you don't really want a lot of people to see. So that's where it's important for you to represent your faith, represent things in your life you want to manifest. Maybe you want somebody's attitude to change within that year. You could hold a candle and put the focus into that for them to do better this year coming. That's you birthing the hopes and dreams for that person. There's loads. I mean, Inbolt's endless. Inbolt, as I said, is one of the most important seasons.
Write down your intentions.
Mm-hmm. And burn them in
in your sister, in your goddess, the cauldron and that, or whatever. Obviously, some of you may not have a cauldron at the minute, but if you've got something that you can burn to the stuff in, then I would.
You call the cauldron the cauldron is the goddess's womb. This is why you have this at the goddess side. Everything you put into your cauldron is what the goddess is going to either manifest for you, get rid of for you, that type of thing. That is why when we write something down on a piece of paper and things, we put it in our cauldron and we'll burn it. Because we know that so above, so below. So if we burn something
she manifests
here, it will
our
manifest
desires
in the other realms. This is where all the magic happens, is in your cauldron, where you put your herbs and things to light and mix. You know, the cauldron is, as I said, it's the symbolisation of your spell work working. A lot of people don't do cauldron magic. They just simply do simple candle spells and things.
Yeah.
Big rituals and things are usually done in the cauldron, though.
It's whatever suits you, really, guys. We haven't got to say everyone's got to go out and buy cauldrons and stuff. Some of you, like Sister said, might be more happier with using candles or using different herbs, things like that. Everybody does it differently, you know what I mean? But
what I'll show you next, guys, is I've showed you this all. I was going to try and show you the Inbolt altar the way I do it, but it's going to be a bit difficult because of camera angles and things. So Inbolt is the 2nd of February. So maybe next week we can focus a little bit more on the season, sis, and we'll show you better the Inbolt altar. It'll take a little bit more planning, I think. But I actually did a video as well. And what I did the video was of one of the first goddesses that I ever did connect to that helped me through to be a witch in the first place. I think the video is only a couple of minutes long. Definitely. It is 6 minutes long, guys, right? So what I could do is I could play this for you if I remember how to share the screen, and then we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's see how you do it. I can make share screen.
Yeah, and with my video, guys, if there isn't anything that you watch it, you'll find it quite educational, so you'll be all right with that. But if there is anything you're not sure of, just come over and ask me, because obviously you're watching it and not really getting me explaining.
Is that sharing? Yeah. Right, okay, guys. So this basically is a bit about the altar I have upstairs. This is my working altar, if you like. This is the one where I do my spell work on it. This is where I do all my candle magic. This is where when I do a jar, I will put it on this altar for the 3 days, the 7 days, the 9 days to let the energy, my goddess, get into it, to let the spell work happen, the magic happen, if you like. All the spell work usually would be prepared by this point. So I'll play this, guys, and then we'll talk about this after it plays, right? Just let me know if you can hear it and things, okay? So what I typically do with this salt is I light it up every other day, this one. I used to light it every day, but then I found a need recently that I don't need to light this one every day. This is the one where I show my appreciation, my love, and my honour to my ancestors, to my spirit guides, to the people I feel that has control on the other side for me, okay? So this is Santa Marta, guys. This is the person that I seen in my shower. This is her actually in her form. This is a representation that I have made of her. This is actually her here. What it does, guys, is she is female death. She is a ancient, maybe not so much ancient, but she's an older Mexican deity, and a lot of people know the Myrtle family. What they were typically, a quick rundown, was a family in Mexico that took to honouring the dead, and through different things that they did, they basically helped people that struggled to bury their dead, to get their last rites and things. A lot more a lot more details is in that, okay, but that's not what this video is about. So anyway, so to me, she represents my faith, right? She represents my faith of the other side. She knows when basically I come to her and I ask her when I need the spirits to come to me, I ask her for anything that I need done, like spell wise. I'll ask Santa Marta to be my backup in that. She also will bring in timber for me. She will bring in my spirit guides. She will bring in the spirits around me. I feel that the spirits don't talk to me, or my guides and things don't typically come in as strong until I light this altar up. Even before I go ghost hunting and things, I will light this altar up and I will ask Santa Marta to come with me to protect me. I will also ask her to make sure that Timber is there, who's my wolf spirit. A lot of you will know already who Timber is. I can explain a bit about that another time. He's my wolf spirit. He's generally my protection. He can do things for me. He can go and take, like, it's my wee grandson one day. I thought, there's something wrong with Zach. And then I just said, Timber, go and see, make sure Zach is okay. And within like about 5 minutes, I went out and Zach was trapped in a wee dog cage that his friends had put him in. So I instantly knew. So that's that type of thing. So he basically went out, found Zach, knew he was vulnerable, came back to me, put the thought in my head to go find him. So that's the typical thing you'll find with your spirit guides will do for you, right? So this is why I light this altar up. I'm asking this altar for protection in life. This is what these crystals are. These are for protection and love. This is for a bit of abundance oil for me to use. This is to ward off the evil eye. These are crystals that is to honour the spirits, to give them some power. That's what to me, the acorn is kind of a representation, what do you call it, a buck's eye is the representation of spirit to me on my altar. So that's just so the spirits have got some abundance and some protection on the other side. Santa Marta right now is working on some prayers for me that I've empowered this statue to do. She's also protecting me right now, and right now she has got the wand that is also to represent it. Right now she's protecting me in magic as well as this side of the realms. The water's just a representation of the west, as we all know. So yeah, and typically as well, this is a wee jar I've done for a friend right now whose 2 kids have just lost their mum. So I've been lighting a bit of incense to protect them.
And I'm just welcoming in the god. Oh, sorry, I'm just welcoming in the goddess to their life. It's just a little jar of protection for them and love. Welcoming the goddess into their life and making sure they're spiritually connected. And this jar will always remain on my altar, just to represent them. And typically when I go ghost hunting or I'm going to start any typical spirit communication, I tend to ring this bell, and that's just to welcome the spirits in. People say that it puts a ripple. Sorry guys, I'm not even looking at the camera, I'm looking at the altar. This just gives a representation people say that it puts a ripple in the airwaves that helps the spirits to come in better when you ring a bell or do any loud noise typically. So but yeah, any questions, just let us know and I can answer them the best of my ability. This was a lemon. I don't always try. There I go again. I put a lemon on my altar. It absorbs all the negative energy. And if there was any seeds in that, it would jingle. But there's no seeds in that one, guys. The one downstairs as well, there wasn't any seeds in. I'll probably get another lemon. Now this one's went brown. But okay, yeah, that's just a bowl of herbs and things that I've got also for protection, to absorb the negativity, that type of thing. So, any questions? And this is my pendulums. They always sit in a bed of salt till I need them. This is a representation of Liam, my son, helping him be protected, be guided in life, be lucky. So just a typical jar spell thing. This is also just to ward off any spirits that may think they're coming into my space to do me harm, my spirits around me harm. So sorry it's so dirty, guys, but altars do get dirty. It's just part of it because of the incense. So thank you for watching and blessed.
Okay, guys, so that is a bit about why my altar upstairs. And it's just a representation of my magic, who I want to welcome into my spell work when I'm doing spell work and things. That altar upstairs, sorry, is a bit dirty. It is actually due getting a revamp, which is the season, as I said, everything's to be renewed and things. So, yeah, that's my spell work as well upstairs. Any questions or anything, guys, just ask us and we're willing to take any questions. I mean, altars,
And
the thing is with altars, you need to remember, right? Altars are a representation of you and your faith. And it really, really is, isn't it? Well, no, it's really, really is anything you want to put on that space. It really is anything at all to do with your spirituality. It could be, sister, do you remember when you first started and you thought that a simple wee stick that you picked up ghost hunting could be your wand and things? Do you not think that was more powerful than these big crystal things that you buy?
I do, and I think that it's very important to pick up things that are personal
Welcome,
to you.
Cheryl.
See, a lot of my stuff that you'll see on my altars through the seasons are stuff that I've picked up through going on walks and stuff, and I've seen things that I like, something that's pointed out to me, something I think is going to look and be really good for my altar, and I'll pick it up. And you can do the same thing, guys. You can go out and see things online or whatever, and you might see a certain character in a statue that you like or something. They will, all the things that are relevant for your altar and for those seasons will jump out at you wherever you are. That's it, in a shop or if you're just out in nature. It's always good to combine your altar with witchy stuff and stuff that you'd get from the witch side of nature as well. So
And once I show you the symbol call, or I can go more into details to the representation in north, the representation in south and things, which generally is typically is the representation of air, wind, fire, water, and that's just at north, east, south. But I will show you, me and sister will about that probably next week when we explain the imbal cultures and things. But altars are just a representation of you and your faith. A lot of people feel that witchcraft is in churches because of altars. I mean, if you think about an altar in a church, that's what that is. That's where the preacher stands and he stands and tells his what you call them in front of him, his congregation things. So we're basically doing the same with our altars. hopes and
we're
dreams in you.
blatantly we're sort of preachers ourselves, but in a different way. We're preachers of our faith. Like, that's why we're learning and teaching you. Probably not in the same way as what you would get in a church, but we do, and we show you these things. And your altar is your most secret thing. It's the most important aspect of your faith and of you. Okay, and that is the most important thing in this, along with obviously the energies and stuff that you work with. But if you've not got a good altar and you've not got the love in the altar, then the other stuff's not going to work. You need your altar for things to work. So
Yes, definitely.
just put yourself into your altar, and
Once you make the decision that you want to be spiritual, I'll not even say go in, I'll not even say be a witch. Once you make the decision that you want to be spiritual,
yeah,
you have to really do a lot of soul searching. Right, so okay, you've decided you want to be spiritual. So what do? You basically meditate, you clear your energy, you sit, you meditate, you decide in your mind what you want to do. What do you like? Do you like cooking? Do you like herbs? Do you like working with tarot cards? A lot of witches don't do any of that. They'll just either do tarot cards, they'll do the herb stuff, they'll do kitchen witchery, they'll do the green witchery, and they maybe not do any other witchery. Others do it all. Others just have a simple candle on their altar, a representation of wind, air, and fire. All altars are different. I mean, to
yeah,
me and sister, we're eclectic witches. We do a bit of everything. So other witches you will find if you Google it on YouTube will only really do like green herbs and work with green herbs and things. Everything really is up to yourself. It really
yeah,
is.
exactly.
Once you
Not
make
every
the decision and you
not every
meditate,
altar
it
is going
all
to look the
comes to you.
same from a witch, to be
When I
honest.
started this path way back in 5-6 years ago, I never ever thought I would have as much things as I have. I never thought I would have as much knowledge and things I have. You could run out there, spend £300-400 on everything on the internet for it, but you wouldn't be the same. You have to
No.
start at the beginning and you have to take the path. You have to collect these things naturally. Some people will go out there now and buy an altar kit. That's okay for a basic. If you want to do that, get out and buy an altar kit and add to it as you're going along. But
Yeah.
me, I started off just putting my daughter gave me my first crystal. She gave me a bit of amethyst. And that is honestly how it started with collecting things. I put the amethyst out and I used to put the spirit box on. And then the spirits told me about what was the herb again? I can't remember this with my head.
Dragon's blood.
And then that's what I did. I Googled all that. And from then on, you just find yourself, you're learning, and you do end up having these things. And you will find a witchy smell that relates to you. Mine's is California white sage. What's your sister? You got a favourite witchy smell?
My favourite is actually dragon's blood, but I do like
Right.
sage as well. I do like
Yeah.
the sage. I like the native sage though, the more earthy smelling one. That is really
Mhm.
beautiful. And white sage is really nice. To be honest, that I love so many smells
Yeah.
that I can't get enough. You know when you're coming into a witch's home, put it that way.
Mhm. There's
It's
so,
just
and it
beautiful.
really does help you, doesn't it? I mean, me
It
and
does.
sister were talking before we went live about what we were doing, and I says I'm going to light a bit of incense just to get into my witchy space, and we were talking about what we were lighting, and it was funny because Christopher today was telling me that he was going to light some incense, and was telling me he was lighting California white sage. And it really does help you put yourself into a space. I think people underestimate the power of smell. I really, really do. Because it
Like,
really does help.
don't get us wrong, like the altars and stuff and your intentions and how you are is very important, but it does really help when you've got the right things around you to help you to go into that place as well. You know, the right smells and things are absolutely amazing and very powerful in our work. If we didn't have that, I don't think we'd be able to focus as much as we do sometimes.
Yeah.
They kind of just bring us into that element, obviously, as long with incense sticks as well. That's a representation that we can use for air, so that is used a lot in incense sticks because of the air sign. And obviously anybody that knows and is going into witchcraft, you know, the elements are very important as well in the witch faith
Today,
and stuff. So
when I was thinking about, I don't know how that's coming on. today when I was thinking about things to talk about tonight, I was actually thinking back to the beginning when I started my path. And I remember the first feeling that I ever got of a crystal, because people had told me that there's crystals that you hold and you will feel it. But I had been
Yeah.
holding crystals for years and never felt anything. But it wasn't until I opened myself up spiritually that I opened my third eye. I started doing the meditations and things. That's when I started holding crystals that I felt them, was when I did open myself up to them. And I think a lot of people think that, oh, don't talk rubbish. Holding a crystal's not going to give you that. I think because they hold the crystal and don't get that, if they opened themselves up magically to it, they would get it, you know. I think half the time people deny these feelings before they've got
Well, I think a lot of
chance.
us think that you automatically will connect to the tools that you use, and you don't. You know, you do need to get a feel for them. They need to get a feel for you. And even though you may not be feeling it, they'll be working in your hand. Believe me, you know what I mean. And like Sis is saying, if you reach a level and you keep believing that you're going to feel what that crystal needs to do for you, you will start to feel it, and you will start to open. It's all about patience and timing. Okay, so even if you're sitting there and you're doing all this stuff and it seems like it's not working, it doesn't mean it isn't working. It's doing it at its own pace, its own time. There is no set time. So
Think about it like you add a herb in your cooking, for example. Right? You're standing there making a chicken korma, for example. You put your herb in that. The minute you put your herb in it and stir it, it changes it to something else. So remember the powers of these herbs. They can make your taste different. So it also can alter your mind state and things as well. A lot of people use rosemary in their cooking, but it really is one of the most out there. So when you cook with this herb rosemary, as a witch, you can that meal into something so powerful for your family. They don't even realise that you're doing it because you've put your rosemary in and your intent is you're stirring. So when your family's eating that food, that's when they start to feel love, they feel the abundance in their belly, they feel everything that you've put into that for their future, all manifesting within them and they don't even know it. And you, as a mother, as a witch, as a granny, have did that for them. And it's a continual spiral like that you will start to think about the minute you start meditating, opening your third eye, getting yourself to a state where you believe these feelings. That is a great big part of it. People
believing in yourself and believing in what you're feeling is really important.
And you will get signs. If you ask the goddess to make herself known, you will be walking down the street and you will get signs. A leaf or something will fall in front of you, shaped like a love heart, shaped like an angel, things like this. But you have to watch for them. You really do. In the sun, you could walk down the street, especially now we are coming into in bulk. Walk down the street, ask the sun goddess to appear for you, give you signs. I don't know why I'm echoing. To give you signs.
No, don't worry. You keep going in and out, so do I.
Yeah, I don't know why. But that's what you do. You ask for the things. Let the world know, let the goddess, the god know that you're ready, that you want to now take your spiritual journey and ask for the signs and they will guide you. As long as you're sincere and you are willing to learn and you are willing to absorb the messages that he and she gives you, they will continue to do that for you. You have to be at a state where you're willing to believe these feelings. That is the thing that I think that I denied for so many years that I didn't become a witch for until now. It was because I always knew I was different, but I just didn't know where and why. And I think I've always thought I was going to be like a guidance counsellor or an agony aunt or something. And it really was, I think, just to learn people that witchcraft and things and these herbs and things, if you use them naturally and put your intent into them, can really change your life, guys. Honestly, you've got no idea.
And that's in anything spiritual. You know what I mean? Not just in witchcraft or wizardry or whatever you practice, you know, normal spirituality, you know, and in everyday work that you do. A lot of us are investigating stuff. You've got to be very open and very believing of what you feel and see to be able to connect in that way. It's not just in the witch faith and other faiths, it's in everything that you do. And like Sister said with the foods and the and stuff like that. There are so many foods and so many different things that we put into our food and into everything every day that has always been very significant back in the past and has been used as other things. So even when we're not thinking fully intentions, we're just thinking of love, light, and family being okay, it's putting other intentions because of what those foods represent anyway. So you're not just doing what you're doing here, you're doing what the world needs as well. Because when you're cooking and we're eating, we're still connected to earth, we're still connected to the elements, we're still connected to, so we're not just feeding ourselves and protecting our family, we're protecting everything that's around us as well. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you go
yeah,
back to the altar that I showed you upstairs, I've got a little jar that I said was Liam. In that jar, I have got a little scroll, and it is my intention for my son for the rest of his life. I've got his baby teeth in there. I've got a bit of obsidian just for to keep him protected. I've also got a couple of his toenail clippings. I've got a tuft of his hair. I've got some oils and things that I added to it on the scroll that I put in. When I was doing the scroll and I was wrapping the little bit of cord round it, I was putting the intent that he will always be binded to me and his father. That type of thing, whereas he'll always consider our feelings and his future and things. Lots of things, guys. You can build somebody into a jar just with having like
yeah,
about 6-7 pieces of stick. Just everything represents their head, their arms, their legs, and you
you
can
could,
put them into a jar and protect them. And that person is your little kid. You put
you
it
could
in
do
the
it
jar, and put
into
the
herb
loving thing.
bags
Yeah,
as well,
lots of
and
things.
there's so many
Remember what
different
we
ways.
told you last week, that the power is in us as witches. Everything
Yeah,
else is nice and it's useful, but the power really is in you. It's much like what you get taught now at college and things about manifesting things on the whiteboard. It really is a lot like that. Whereas if you focus, to us, the spell we just did is that where our intent is in it. Where them, the words on the whiteboard is their intent. We put the
yeah,
intent into these candles and then we leave it alone because we know that everything we've put into that, that's why we say so mote it be, because everything we have put into that is now done. We can walk away, let the magic work, and we know we have the confidence that we know that everything we put into that is going to work. Don't
yeah.
ever doubt it.
That's why you hear the word "so might it be," or you might hear the word "so it be,"
Yeah.
which is saying that what is going to be will be, and it's left in your hands are powerful divine ones, which is your father, your mother's, whatever you follow. You okay? Because like sister Athena said, when you do that, you do put your intentions and you do manifest your work and stuff. But you got to remember that after we've done that, it continues with you know the god and the goddess and everybody else is still doing their work. They're still making that spell continue to work. So it is really good to do that. And another thing is always make sure you do put some sort of offering out, even when you're cleansing somewhere as well. Okay, just a little offering to say, here's an offering to thank you for cleansing and blessing my home. Always make sure you thank them as well,
Yeah.
because they are the ones that you're using to come in your home and do this so you can actually carry on your work. So
See, we leave the spirit, well, the spirits really are your deities and things as well. When you are investigating, you turn on your spirit box and things, you will start to hear your guides, you will hear your goddesses and things speak if you ask them to. Generally, they will only come through unless you really want them to. They'll leave you to do what you want to do, ghost hunting and things. Whereas I bring mines in for protection and guidance to the spirits that need help. So most of the time, once you've either done a ghost hunt or before you go a ghost hunt, you will give them a little present, a little gift just to say, can you please help me today? Or when you come back,
yeah,
you maybe have picked up a nice stone or something, take that back to your altar and give it as a present to your altar
yeah,
just to say thank you for your guidance. I mean, a lot of the times when you go out a walk, especially when spring is coming, you will see all these like the winter, like the branches and things all breaking, ready for the new, whatever season it is. And you ask the tree if you can take it, and most of the time, instantly in your head, you'll know whether you have to take it or not.
yeah.
I mean, there's
And that's it.
oh,
Everything's like that. Like I'm not.
sometimes,
I think going out and physically picking things up is the most powerfulest way to be connected to your altar, is getting things from natural environments and where you're most connected to nature and life, that is in the wild, and that's where they represent most of the time. So
When
what
we
better
were
place to
doing
go?
when we were starting to learn a little bit about the shaman side, and we will talk a little bit about that, guys, as the podcast goes on. My Uncle Danny, I call him, sister calls him Pops. His name is Danny Whitewolf, if you want to look him up on YouTube. Spectres, it was
Chasing Bones and
Chasing Bones
Spectres,
and Spectres, yeah.
or Danny Wolf.
Right, well, when he was teaching us, he was teaching us that we pick up pebbles and things to represent our ancestors and things when we're out a walk. And I had said, can we not just buy a crystal to represent each person? And he had said, yes, if you want, but it would be better if you went out a walk and then be drawn to certain stones and things to represent that person, that energy, whatever you want it to do. Which, when you think about it, really does make sense, because if you want a stone to represent your Uncle Charlie, what better to do than go a walk and ask your Uncle Charlie to guide you to that stone that he wants to represent him.
That's what I'm saying. When you pick up these things, you like when you go past and you see these pretty flowers that you like the look of, or you see a twig, or you see whatever, anything that you see, it's always what they're pointing you towards, because it's something that's going to be relevant to them, something that's going to be relevant to your craft, something that's going to be beneficial to you and to them. So, all these things, you're not just going out there and seeing them and liking them and picking them up for no reason. There is a reason to why you're doing that.
And that's where the belief comes in. Honestly, that's where you have to remember that you've asked for the guidance. So now they are guiding you. So you have to take what you feel, what you are seeing in your mind's eye, even as to see these things in your dream. A lot of people want to meet who's guiding them. I did when I first started, and I seen her. I took a wee mini breakdown, if you like, and really needed to see somebody or something. And she did. She appeared for me, and I will talk about that another time. So if you really mean it and you are sincere, they know, and they know who really does, who is ready and who isn't. So as long as you know that this is the path you want to take and you really are ready for it, because as I said, guys, it really can change your life, especially if there's something in your life that your guides know is not good for you. They will get rid of it for you, which can be heartbreaking sometimes. If it's a person, if it's a job, if it's maybe an area you stay in, they know that to serve your higher good, you may have to move. And sometimes that can be heartbreaking, but you have to let yourself be guided, because they know.
It's having the trust in them and knowing that they know what's good for you. Okay, and they do. And everything that they do and every action that they do is for our benefit, and is so that this world carries on the way it's supposed to.
That's why meditation is important, and paying attention to your dreams. I don't really dream or meditate, but I do daydream. So a lot of the times I can sit there for a couple of hours and I don't even realise that I'm daydreaming and meditating. And then within an hour or something, I may get an idea in my head. I may discover a problem I didn't know I had. And then instantly I'll know the answer. That's because I have been in like a meditative state. I will see things and I'll not realise at the time that it was a message until I see that image somewhere else. And then you connect the dream you had to what you're doing at that moment, that you see that sign. It's always believing in the signs that they send to you, the feelings that they'll let you feel. And it's an amazing journey to take. I'm not saying that I'm an expert in any way, guys. I've not been like Sister Sherry and been magical. I do believe Sister Sherry was born to this. I wasn't. I think I've been more given this as a future. So it's recognising all these things in you and believing that it really is happening. Because a lot of people will think that they're losing their mind. They wonder why their life is falling apart. And it's not. It's just things are changing.
Yeah. And it's learning how to deal with those situations and how to find an outcome. and it through this faith, it guides you in so many ways. It's
And you can
unbelievable. If
help
you
other
open your
people.
heart to it and you truly believe that is in your heart, then I suggest that you would do it, guys. But don't go doing it light-hearted. If you're not sure, don't go playing around if you don't know. Let,
Always
let
ask for the
us
protection.
let us ease you into it. If you're not
Yeah.
sure, let us ease you into it, and you can learn and watch us each week, and will help you hopefully to open up to if you really want to do that. And you don't have to be a witch, like Sis said,
Yeah.
spiritually. Okay.
There's a lot of things that you do in your normal life that you don't really realise you're doing that could be seen as witchcraft. From blowing out your birthday candles and making a wish to stirring your things clockwise because you want to bring in positive things. I don't know, there's loads of things that when you do start taking this journey and you think back, you will remember. When I did realise I was a witch and I was being protected with my goddess, was when one day I was standing in my kitchen and I was making 2 cups of tea and they were hot. I just poured the kettle into the cups, the hot water into the cups. I opened the cupboard to get down, I can't even remember, get down another cup or something. And this lid from a disposable cup or whatever it was fell down and into the hot cup. The minute that fell into that cup and the hot water sprung out and it landed on me, the water was instantly cold. The minute it was all over my foot, my slipper, and everything was soaking, and it was ice cold water. And the other cup was hot. It's as if my goddesses instantly froze that water the minute it hit my skin.
And they do protect you. They do.
Mhm.
And like Sister and me are saying, if you're willing to open to it and you're willing to listen, then you will see these amazing things happen. And like Sis said, there's a lot of things that we've done through life that we didn't realize was witch related, but then when you go through the craft as you get older, you kind of realize that you've been doing that a long time. Okay. And it's
Especially with
like,
the trees.
yeah,
I've always
trees I've
stayed
always been able to
around
talk to.
trees. I've always, no matter where I've stayed, I've always stayed around trees. And I didn't even realise this till a couple of months ago. I think it was around about Samhain that I can hear the trees talk. Because, and this
Yeah.
is going to sound funny, but anytime I've ever walked anywhere with the trees, I kind of start doing like a wee, just maybe a wee rhythm, wee rhythm or something in my head, a wee riddle. And it wasn't until one day, I think I got off the bus and I'm thinking, I can hear somebody speak. And I could not make it out. And it wasn't until I walked up the road, walked round and into my home, I said, that was their trees talking. I could hear a female voice. And then I
Yeah.
came in, I think I spoke to you about it, Sherry, and I think I
Yes, I
spoke to
told you a
Toby
funny
and things
story, didn't
about
I?
it.
Because
And then
believe
I
it or not,
tested it.
we all start off wondering what we're hearing. I done it,
Mhm.
okay. Like I was walking down the road and I'm walking around. Obviously, I'm in tune with certain things, but I remember just walking to this area and there, I'm standing there and I'm hearing this voice and I'm turning around and I'm looking. And I'm hearing it. I can hear you, but I can't see you. And it goes to look left or look right, or whatever. And I looked, and it was a tree. I said, my mouth come open. I went, huh? Are you talking to me? Am I going nuts? Is that the tree? Are you talking to me? Please just let me know. And it spoke again. And that was when I was younger. You know what I mean? I was young, but I stood there puzzled. I was like, well, what am I? And then when I looked at the tree and I said, is that you? And it answered. And and
Guys,
then I
you might
started to
think we
feel
are
the
kidding on. I
vibrations and feeling
honestly
stuff that
swear
they give off.
it
They
happened.
don't just talk, they can give you emotion and vibration and that as well. Like once I started hearing them, that's when I was able to feel them and feel
Test
the
it.
energies that are connected.
I did. I tested it because I thought I want to really. I mean, Uncle Danny and everybody told me, yeah, you will be hearing it. So I tested it and I walked out one night and I recorded it. And when I played it back, I could hear female voice. And there
Yeah,
was nobody around. I swear in my soul. The
they do
trees were
talk to you,
speaking to you. This trees
and they
speak to
very
you.
often sound like voices of people. It's your ancestors talking to you, and like in native way
They know
and
when you're ready.
ways of parts like shaman. They believe that voices are in everything, so it's in the wind, in the fire, in the water, it's in everything.
It definitely is.
The world is all one, and we are all one. Okay, we're all connected. That is what shamanism believes, that we're all connected as one. That's the planet, the universe, and ourselves. We're all connected.
That's why we can do tarot readings, because we are us as the reader is asking our guides to connect to your guides.
Yeah.
For their guides to connect to them, to give us the connection to the cards. So everything is one big cycle, and it really is amazing when you see it working, because you do. But it really is quite funny when you think about it as well, because these things that you've heard for years, like the trees talk and things, and you always think, oh, that's a lot of rubbish. But when you really do start opening up your mind to these things, honestly, guys, they do talk. And me sitting here as a simple Scottish girl, I can honestly tell you the trees speak.
They do.
Where?
They have got voices, they have got souls, they've got everything, guys, believe me. And I think the best part for me is when you actually hear the people actually come in and saying that they're hearing what you've heard for a long time as well. I find that really amusing. And some of their reactions and stuff, like I remember when Sister first told me that she actually had started hearing the trees talking in her face, and that I was laughing because it's a shock, because you do think you're going crazy and you're looking around and you're like, what the hell? But
it's like the first time you realise spirits is real, isn't it?
It's all about that. Okay, I hear you, but where are you coming from? And they'll tell you, it's me, the tree. Or
and then there's a moment of unbelievableness.
You know what I mean?
You even those think that you're going a bit crazy, you're thinking, right, okay, I've took this spiritual thing just too far. You honestly do start believing things like that.
I actually run away from the area and then went back, because I thought, no, don't run, just go back, because you did hear it, you did. And I asked it, because I heard it again, and then that's when it said, it's me, turn left or right. And I looked, and I said, are you talking to me? Is that the tree talking to me, or am I going crazy? And it goes, yes, I am talking to you. I'm an ancestor. And I was just like, they go, welcome
I realised when I
to the next part of the witchcraft.
And
I said,
he laughed.
Witchcraft as well? And they're like, yeah, like talking to us, yes. We're very good in your witchcraft. I'm like, okay. And people will laugh at me and take the pee out of me, because they'll see me talking to trees. I do. I'll go up, start touching the leaves and start talking to them.
That's why you have to ask the tree if you're allowed to use its leaves and its branches and things, because honestly, they really are alive. And I swear, as a simple, natured, Scottish, down-to-earth girl, it's true. That is why you really, now thinking about things, you really do have to ask these herbs, these trees, these different barks and grasses for their permission to use them for these things.
You never take what you ain't going to give back.
Yeah.
Whatever you take, you always give back. If that's in a stone, a little bit of change. I put money down, copper. They like copper and that. So I put copper or stones. Or if I've got a sweet or something with me, I'll put it down on the floor, take it out the wrapper, and like bury it or something, so that an animal don't choke on it or something. So I'm really funny about things like that. But I do things. I'm even as little as putting little ribbons up on the trees and things like that. Just really cute things where they feel appreciated and remembered. And believe me, the more that you do it, you won't be able to shut them up. You'll be hearing everything. They will constantly be talking to you. It's amazing.
I just worry for the next time I go out ghost hunting, because now I'm going to wonder, is that the trees speaking or is it the spirits? Because it definitely,
I'm sure it would
the
answer
same
to you if you answered. Is that actually a spirit that's talking to me, or is that a tree? It'd probably say it's me, your ancestor from the tree. Or if it's a spirit, it'd just go, oh, it's me, innit?
But see, if you think about it, if you've ever walked in a park in a windy day and you hear the way the trees actually rustle and things, if you think about the Harry Potter movie, for example, when they didn't hear what the shell was saying until they went underwater.
Yeah.
So things like that could really, really happen. I mean, things like maybe there's a screech. You get something through the post that's you play it and it's a screech. But when you take it outside and play it where the trees are, it magically you can hear I don't know. There's lots of things. I mean,
it's mad, but it's amazing.
Crazy. But you have to believe it, honestly. And I think once you do start opening up to it, especially if you are a bit of a dreamer and you've always been a bit of a dreamer, because when you start to realise that fairies are real, unicorns are real, maybe not as much as fairies and things, and a wee bit more of a magical realm, but these things are real, guys. If you go deep into forest, you will see fairies.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're
Fairies
very
are
connected,
definitely
if you're
on
very
this realm.
connected to the, if you're very connected to them, then you don't even need to be in the field. They'll come in your house. You've seen it on my
Yeah.
streams when they've flown past me. Chris see that as well. You know, if you've got a very big connection with them, and you, because that's the thing with all of your elements, with anything that you do, if that's connecting with spirit, if that's connecting with guides or ancestors, or if that's connecting with a herb or crystal, it's all about the intentions and the believing in it. If you believe and have the intention in it, they will make themselves be known, whatever that is, the energy, you know, just believe in it. If you don't have the belief and you don't trust in yourself in that way, then it's not going to work right for you. You do need to have that there. It's very
Yeah,
important.
you really do have to soul search, guys. That's it. Be getting
Yeah.
a serious for a wee moment.
If
Once
we
you do
start
it,
making your altars
yeah.
and
And,
stuff,
and you
meditate,
want to know what's
find
really
yourself,
important as well is to remember that spirits can trick you. You may start
forgive
to want
yourself.
to take this witchy path, and that there could be a spirit around you that decides to play with you and kid on to you that they are Bridget, they maybe kid on to you, because they can be anything they want. So that is
Mhm.
why you want to make sure that you're protected, that you're spiritually ready, so that your ancestors can come through and be there to kind of filter out these spirits and things that will want to be around you once you open yourself up. And more, I would say probably 99% you can trust, especially if
Yeah.
you know your guides are around you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just believe it. Like before you do any or make any big decision, it is really important for you to study in what you're thinking that you, even if you don't know your path, just learning about basic things about witches and stuff
Yeah,
or spiritualism, whatever you want to looking into that, connecting to yourself, asking forgiveness in things that you've had problems in, asking for them to help you and guide you and show you. They are the things you need to start doing first before you
yeah.
even think about starting your practice. You
And
need to
see
find
what you
yourself
want
and
to.
be calm and clean in yourself first before you
And
start
just
opening
ask
up.
yourself what it is you're trying to achieve with the
Yeah.
path you want to take. For me, it was so I could connect to a higher energy, so I could make better decisions in life, so I could start to hear the spirits around me. So I knew that my guides, my ancestors, my loved ones that I really, really was missing. So I knew these people were around me. That's why I wanted to talk to spirits in the first place.
Yeah.
And through that is how I became a witch, because I
That is a
connect.
very important part of it, is the reason to why you're
Yeah,
going into it, like what's made you want to go into it. That is a very big part of your faith, you know, because that's what pushes you across your path and keeps you going. So
most of us. I'm nearly 50. I'll be 50 in May. So I'm at a stage in my life where I know that things are changing again. Witches have got three stages. They've got the maid, they've got the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Your
yeah,
maiden is typically your young girl, your teenager. Uh, your mother is obviously when you start having children, when you start getting married and
and
making
your crone
building
is
a
your
nest.
wise, your
And
crones
I'm
are
into the
wise
crone
ladies.
stage now.
Your crone
Where I
age,
know
like
my life is changing
nannies
again.
and auntie age, you know what I mean? Like older generation wisdom,
Yeah,
wise sort of
yeah. So
people,
I'm
you know.
kind of at that
Yeah.
stage now, where I know that I can teach other people. I like to think I've had enough life experience that I could maybe help people not go through all the rubbish I did, just to realise that you're a bit different, yes, and you're a witch, so deal with it. Instead of
Exactly.
going through all the rubbish.
Exactly. And it's fine. It's fine to do research and studying and stuff, guys, but don't let that overtake you. Just go by your natural self and what you feel as
Yeah,
well,
don't
guys.
commit to anything.
Don't let technology and all literature and everything else to
Right,
overtake your
Jill?
brain. You know, yes, research, study, do whatever, but always keep the natural side. That's really important.
Just always
Really, really.
remember why you're taking this in the first place, this journey.
Yeah.
Be safe. And you will start to recognise the spirits around you as well if you do decide to ghost hunt along with your craft,
Oh yeah.
your witchcraft, because we actually have a ghost hunting community that is me, sister, Uncle Danny, Christopher, Dakota, and things. And if you do decide to come over to our individual channels, you will hear these spirits around all of us, and you will hear that they are spirits that choose to come to me, they come to Sherry, they come to Uncle Danny, they travel around all of us as a community, which really, really makes me believe that these people have brought us together in life. Be
Oh yeah.
either my ancestors are also Sherry's ancestors, who then are also Christopher's ancestors, and these maybe, who knows, have brought us together in this time because they know that we are all family. In our
Yeah.
past time, you just don't know, but we do feel and we know that we are family. Even
Yeah.
though we're not blood related, we are all a community, and
But
we
we've
are all.
always felt that connection, and there's always been that link because of the spirit world. That's how we know. We are at 1 hour and 25 minutes. We've
Well, so
literally
we
got
are.
just under half an hour. So if there is anybody wanting any card readings, let us know, guys. The pricing was to the bottom of the screen. It
Any
will go. I think
questions
it's
as well,
15,
guys? Get them in.
£15, £15 UK and £20 USA. Okay, so if you're wanting any card readings, guys, just let us know. We've got just under half an hour. Just write in the room and say the name of the person you're wanting to do it, and we'll be away with it.
Yeah, if there's any questions and things, guys, I know there's a lot of information we have put out tonight. Even if you have to rewatch this to maybe take in some of the knowledge that we've put out here tonight, save it in a playlist as well. Last week's show, this week's show, and you can always refer back to it as a guidance for what we will teach you. Next week we will probably focus more on the seasons and things because, as I said, Imbolc comes on the 1st and 2nd of February. So sister and I will probably explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Anything, guys, I know that people have told you probably in the past about sacrifice and things. If you ever want to ask us a question about anything deep like that, ask us. But I can tell you from a point in my craft right now, I will never ever sacrifice anything in my craft. I will never use blood of an animal, never use blood of anything, okay? So if there's anything you ever want to ask us about that side of the craft, we are open to talking about that as well. We know there's scary stories out there. So anything you want to ask, we are open to it. But me personally would never use any carcass, any animal parts, any blood, or any things like that.
I'm the same. I don't believe in sacrificing. The phrase and the motto is see and harm nothing. So obviously you're not going to see or harm anything, are you? So that's anything. As well, like in the blood thing, I have, like when I've had to do a certain blessing or something, I have done my finger and put my own blood into it just to put the
That's
intentions
okay.
and stuff like that. But I would not use other people's blood, and I would not use it for a negative thing either. But that's just been a couple of jobs where I needed to put a protection on my kids, and they've got my blood, so I used
A
my
lot of
blood.
people will do that to connect to their
Yeah.
tools. I've heard that before, that a lot of people
I
want
won't
to
do it for anything
tools.
in the craft. If it's just like a basic spell or something to do with family, then yeah. But if it's for anybody else or anything else, no.
Yeah.
I
I
don't.
mean, as I
And
said, I've
definitely,
got my son's teeth in
I
his
would
hair
never ever
clippings.
sacrifice.
Yeah. But
I go
nothing like
nuts.
that, guys. But that was just an example. If there's ever any questions you want to ask us about the scary side, if you like, of the craft,
Yeah, don't be
we're
scared. Don't
open
hold
to
back. If you want to know
answer
about the
any
darker side,
questions.
then just let us know. We will sit
And
and
we will
talk
be
and be open
honest.
to you about everything if we can. And anything that we don't know, we'll look up and find out for you and let you know as well, guys. We're not them sort of people that's just going to leave you sitting there wondering. We will sort it out.
I mean, that's the like say tarot cards, right? Tarot cards, just to give a wee bit of explaining about them if people don't know what they are when
Yeah.
they're listening back to this podcast. The tarot cards are actually your spiritual journey. You are
Yeah.
the fool. The fool goes between the fool to, can't even remember what the last one is, to be honest, thinking back on it, right? But that is what it is. It's the fool's journey, which is typically your spiritual journey through life, where you're a young person, then you are awakened. then you are maybe like thinking as a higher being, which is your Hemmelfart. Then you maybe come across the towers, which are problems in life. Then you will find your strength. These type of things. So the tarot cards is your journey in life, and the pentacles, the swords and things, they are added into the tarot cards to give you the insight to where it can help you out in
Guidance
your
to
journey.
help you stay on the right path.
Yeah.
If you choose to, because not
Yes,
everybody
of
listens
course.
to what we're saying, but believe me, cards are never wrong.
The cards are always there to show you
Yeah.
that your path is in front of you, and it's what you want to make of it. The cards will show you if you continue down the road you are doing right now in your life, whichever it may be, this is what will come up. That is why when I'm doing a reading, I will draw you a different card, and that is to give you a guidance on how maybe whatever the card has told you, that's to give you more of an insight, either to help understand it, what the card is saying, or to give you a guidance how to make that situation better. So
Exactly.
everything is a representation, and it helps you understand what's happening in your life. Oracle cards are a bit more different. They kind of more messages, and aren't they, Willow? They're more of a message from your
The oracles are
gods and
more,
things.
oracle cards are more the direct and personal messages from your higher powers or your ancestors, family, people like that. Sometimes quite a bit more direct in a specific way they want things to be done and stuff. Oracles are different to tarot cards. Tarot cards are more life telling from the past, present, future, and what might arise, what the last outcome may be. And what you've got to remember is a path can always change. Even though you've had a reading, you could come and have another reading and something else comes in. Everyday life is changing and there's new scenarios coming in. So that means your cards are constantly changing. So all this rubbish about you can only have a card reading once a month. No, you could have a card reading every day if you wanted to. It would be different because it's about your scenario of that time. Okay,
Your
and how it
relationship
intertwines with
with your
the past
spirits
and the
around
present.
you and things. Yeah. Everything is what you want it to be.
Yeah,
If anybody ever tells you that something is wrong, something is the opposite, don't believe them, because for what is one way for somebody could be the opposite for you. It's just because everything is yin and yang, everything's got to have a balance. So for whereas
yeah,
if I was maybe a black witch and sister was a white witch, that wouldn't affect our relationship,
of
because
course not.
it would make us, it would just mean that there was a balance between us, that I worked with the dark energies and sister worked with the light. I don't,
Now
by
you
the
will
way, just to
find that
let
in
you
a lot
know.
of covens
But,
they will do
you
that.
know,
Like if you go into
there's a
covens and stuff like that,
balance.
they will have a lot of mixed witches, black, white, because we are all brothers and sisters. And like we said the other week, it's not all associated around that because of the colours. It means we're good or we're bad. It isn't that at all. It's just that another one side is more open to accepting things to come in a more thoughtful way, if you know what I mean. So like where white witches will wait for it to happen naturally, a black witch will happily go out there and bring something in to make it happen. You know what I mean? That is the only difference between us. We're not dangerous or anything like that. So yeah.
And plus, there's a difference between a dark witch and a white witch as well. Dark witches work. See, when you close your eyes and you want to manifest something, a lot of people will close their eyes and they will be surrounded by the white light and they will manifest things in the light. Whereas people that work with the dark energies don't. It doesn't mean dark energies like demons. It just means a dark place in your mind, which it, well, when I close my eyes, I prefer to manifest things in the dark, where it will be
Yeah.
like
And that's
black
what
space in
makes
my
the
mind.
difference
And
between light and dark. You know what I mean?
it
It's
doesn't mean
not
I
that
work with
I'm
demons and
sitting
things.
here thinking in the white, so
Yeah,
I'm thinking good and right, and you've got somebody that's a black witch and they're doing the same thing. Just because their mind's gone black doesn't mean that they're doing something negative. It's just how they feel comfortable working in, and it's that what most benefits them, and it's how they connect. So, and it's very important to be very open when you're in this faith and to be able to understand that there are many walks of people in this faith and they all do many different things. It doesn't make them bad. Okay, so
yeah. I think a lot of people always get the dark energies mixed up with bad.
yeah,
Dark
yeah,
and bad is two different words, and I think you need to remember that, especially when you are going down a path in working with energies. Just recognise And if you want to learn a little bit more about the dark energies, we can also talk about that. That's not a problem. We could maybe try and get somebody on the show that works with dark energy, and they could maybe talk about it. We're open to anything, guys.
I do think that we do need to get some shows. I do think we need to set up where we can have some people coming up onto our show as well, sis, where we can get people to come up and talk. I am going to be seeing if I can get sister Linda and brother Chad up on one of our shows just to talk about their investigations, and Linda could talk a little bit about how, what and why she would like to go into the witch faith and how she got into it and things like that. I think it'd be really good for them to come up. I think it would be good to represent. And any of you guys, if any of you want to come up, you've got a faith or something you follow, or you think that your information and your way would be really useful to someone else, then please just get hold of me or Drew, or get hold of Dakota and Chris, and just let us know that you would like to join the show, and we'll sort a date and a time with you. Remember, the shows are every Friday, okay, at 11 p.m. UK time, so bear the times in mind, but we're more than happy to help you guys if we can. Smith Family Paranormal investigations will be live with Chris and Dakota tomorrow night, guys, so do not be missing that. They are awesome.
I've got a bit of a theory, right? We'll talk about that if you like while the show is winding down.
Could we, before we carry on doing the talking, can we do the 1 minute silence for Morad?
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, everybody that knows the community knows that we lost Brother Morad a couple of days ago to very inconvenient ways and very sad ways. So, if all of us could just put our hands together for 1 minute and just be silent and just think of him and his family, that would be very much appreciated. If we start that now, I'll just turn the mic off, and when I turn it back on, you know it's finished. So that is love and respect out to Morad and to his family, and to anybody else that's lost anybody, and to anyone that we have lost and that's up there. Just a bit of love and respect to all of them, and let's be thinking of all of those that are unfortunate at the moment and going through these sort of griefs. And lots of love and light to all of you.
Yeah,
and
guys, as witches, we do healing streams, sister and I, on our own channels. We've done them in the past for family members. If you do feel as if somebody needs a couple of prayers right now, maybe even just a prayer circle for a future operation or something that's coming up, please let us know, and we will hold a prayer circle for these people.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're more than happy to help you. We do that on a regular basis anyway, guys, and we are here to help you guys and to guide you in whatever way that is. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, please do so.
That is why we are witches, guys, and I think that's where my strength is in a lot of ways. Is I'm good at tarot readings and things, but I also am good at the magic side. So is sister, where we can do things for you to help you heal, to send you prayers and things when you need it. That is where your true witch comes. That's where your true power comes as a witch. It's the things that you can do for the person that you love the most, for the person that you know is struggling. We can ask for guides, for God. We can use the power within us to help send it to you, to help you feel it. That is really what the craft.
A lot of you've seen us do that a lot on our shows when we've been together and stuff. We've done it for people, so you know that we can do that. And as Sister said, that I myself feel that is our strongest point, is when we're helping others and doing that sort of work. It really seems to benefit us and help us.
Yes, Shrimp Shack, I will go to the vaults in February, not a problem. For anybody
Well,
on
we are going to
podcast,
be
we're talking about Edinburgh vaults.
finishing soon. So, what was it that you was going to say, sis, before we done the tribute for Morat for a
What
minute?
was I going to say? I think it was just about the prayer circles and the healing side of the things we do. Reach
Yeah,
out to us. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, sis. Just reach out to us, guys. And I know a lot of people have got different health things that is wrong with them right now. Maybe there's, as I said, operations and things that's coming up in your future. Don't be afraid to reach out to us and sister and I, even if you don't want a full hour or two dedicated to that. We can do something for you off screen and things as well. We don't just always do
yep,
things for our podcasts and for our channels. We do these things privately.
yes, we do.
So reach out to us.
And
Everything
this
doesn't
is
need to
our
be on
job.
screen.
You don't sit on your hands when you need help. This is what we love doing. We like to help people and to make a difference. So please, if you do need us, just come to us and talk to us. We're here always. If we're busy and we've got things to do, we will always get back to you. Do bear in mind we can be busy, but we
Yep.
will always come back to help you. So just
Yes.
just
And we
come to
can.
us.
And remember, sometimes we will say to you, come back in a week or two because the moon is more fuller or something. Don't be put
Yep.
off by saying, no, wait. It's just because as witches we know where our power is. And a lot of the time we will use the power of the moon when she's in full cycle. Me personally, when I'm doing spell work, I do wait till the moon is half and half because I find that gives the balance. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but there's full moon rituals and things and that as well. We can show you and things. Me personally, I've not done many rituals. I have did a few little dedications and things that I've done to the moon and to different seasons and different goddesses and things. I don't mind sharing all that. I don't mind learning if you want one of us to learn something as well.
Yeah, and obviously I have done rituals, and you've seen me do my circles and call the elements. So you have got videos on my channel where you can watch that as well. And you know, just be you guys, and just remember that we're always here to guide you and help you. That's what we're here to do. That's why we're doing these shows for,
And
and
read everything.
it's
Just read
exciting.
everything.
Yeah,
I read different. The first book I kind of read for the witchcraft was the big blue book of witchcraft, which people say is the witchcraft Bible. I read that, and then through reading that and knowing about spell work and things, I read the Idiot's Book to Alchemy, and that is when
yeah,
my world really did open up. Is when I read the Idiot's Book to Alchemy because it explains to you why you use the why and when you use these elements and these herbs and things, that why they do the things they do. It explains the microisms and things like that. So it gives you an understanding of why this herb works with that herb, why that oil works better with that herb and things. So it kind of gives you a structural. So to me, the Big Blue Book of Witchcraft and the Idiot's Book to Alchemy. If you read the
yeah.
two books first, like I did, you will find a lot better understanding of the
And
craft.
please do not be offended by the Idiot's Book of Alchemy. It's just another way of what the book does is it
It
describes
is
to
for
you in a
simple
more
people.
easier context of words, because let's face it, some of the words in witchcraft and in your spell work is really complicated to
Yeah.
understand. So it's better to have a book that can kind of explain it in a better detail. That's all it means for that
Yeah, and
book.
it is a series of books, guys. There's Idiot's Book to Alchemy, there's Idiot's Book to Witchcraft, there's the
Yeah.
Idiot's Book to Puzzles, there's Idiot's Book to everything on the planet.
It's just a short cut down so
Yeah.
you can understand if you're not as educated as these high
And
professional educated people are.
read what
But
the Green Witch does, what the Earth Witch does, and see what resonates to you. Try being a Green
exactly,
Witch for a week.
it's
If you
about
don't like
looking
it,
and
change
finding
channel.
out what it is about, finding out what you connect to and what's about you. Okay, guys. But what I'm going to do is I do want to thank all of you for coming in and joining me and Sister Drew for our show tonight, The Lost Magics. We hope that you enjoyed the videos on the altars. I'm sorry mine broke. It is working, but it's still private. I'll put that up after the show. But a big thank you to all of you for coming in and sharing this evening with us. And thank you to anybody that's looking and watching us on all of the other platforms that Chris and Dakota have out as well. And obviously, thank you to the guys for another awesome show. Sister, over to you.
Yeah, guys, thanks everybody for coming as always. I'm always privileged that anybody comes to watch us, and I will always show you everything that I've learned by. I will only try and show you something that I've not tried myself. So we'll just
Yep.
keep watching, keep learning, keep an open mind, and have fun.
Yep.
Blessed be.